Hello everyone. In this video, I'll compare NEET 2024 physics questions with NCERT models. In the last video, I uploaded about number of questions given in class 11 as well as class 12. Look at this question. A particle is moving with uniform speed in a circular path maintains. So if it is moving in a with uniform speed, that is called uniform circular motion. Speed remains constant throughout the motion, but velocity as well as acceleration, because direction of acceleration changes and velocity also direction changes, so that varying velocity and acceleration is the correct option, and it was from this NCERT line it was asked. Just look at this next question, 11th question. This is from simple harmonic motion. The general equation, this is a sine function, and in NCERT we are having with cos function. It is not a big point, but the phase angle here it is 5 by 3, here it is 5, that is that phi value is 5 by 3, and omega value is pi. If omega is pi, if omega value is pi, then time period you can calculate using this. Time will be equal to 2 pi by omega. Of course, amplitude is 5, and this is in meters, that's why we will take this 5 meters, as well as this is also 5 meters. Then you can check with this 2 pi by pi, so pi gets cancelled, it will be 2 seconds, so that this will be our option. So this is one direct point from our NCERT synopsis point. And now look at this, the maximum elongation in a steel wire 1 mm of length if its elastic limit and Young's modulus. Elastic limit means that is maximum stress what it can hold, and as well as they give Young's modulus. So Young's modulus we are having FL by AE, or E will be equal to F by A into L by Y. That F by A value is given, L value is given, and we are having this. So this is also from the almost a similar kind of example is there in NCERT. If you can solve this example, then this corresponding question you can answer very easily. And just look at this. This is from collisions. For completely inelastic collision in NCERT, we are having this kind of point like this. In inelastic collision in one dimension, what is final velocity means if one object is at rest. Just look at this, body B is at rest, so that will be m1 by m1 plus m2. So they are asking v1 by v2, where v2 is the final velocity. So v1f by vf, or v1i by vf, that will be from this equation, it will be m1 plus m2 by m1, as both are identical, it will be 2:1. So if you know this particular point from NCERT, you can solve this question very easily. Now look at this next question. So this is based on moment of inertia of a thin rod about an axis passing through its midpoint. So this is one NCERT formula based point. Just I gave that formula here. It was there in system of particles chapter. Moment of inertia of a rod about an axis passing through one end is ml square by 12. So length of the rod they are asking by giving mass of the rod and moment of inertia. This is if you solve by using this formula, you will get 8.5 centimeters. And the next question is a direct point from this particular diagram in NCERT. If you observe this, if a object is undergoing without slipping pure rolling motion, the point P naught that is in contact with the surface is at rest. That means this here it is point Q given. It will be always at rest. Here that point is given as P naught. So that those disc rotate with an angular velocity omega about an axis passing through C. where r is the radius of the disk, so that here the topmost point will have some velocity and the lowest point, that velocity is 0, and of course this velocity is given as 2 times VCM. So the same both points P and Q move with equal speed is wrong. Point P moves faster than point Q. So that is correct in the case of this question. This is from direct NCERT line that is there with the reference of figure 7.37. And similarly, look at this question. This is from gravitation. How gravitation, acceleration due to gravity depends on mass of the planet and diameter of the planet. It is directly proportional to mass and inversely proportional to square of the radius. So if you use this formula and if you solve, so this is also an NCERT question, NCERT formula related question. So it will be 3.92. And just look at this next question. This is also gravitation. So almost a similar example is there, but here we are changing the radius from 2RE to 4RE given in NCERT. But whereas here from the minimum energy required to launch the satellite of mass m from the surface of the earth of mass m and radius r in a circular orbit of altitude given. So that here radius is, as altitude is 2r, radius will be 3r. So that from the surface of the earth means it will have potential energy minus gmm by r plus kinetic energy half mv square is equal to minus gmm by total energy will be 2 times radius of that orbit 3r. So if you solve this, you will get 5 gmm by 6r. So this is also, if you know, just refer this example that is there in NCERT. If you know that example, you can solve this question. Now the next question is, just look at this from kinetic theory of gases. If you just observe that the same graph is repeated, that I need not to explain completely. So if it is a TV graph, the slope represents pressure. So theta 1 is greater than theta 2 is greater than theta 3. So that pressure of first one is greater than pressure of second one is greater than pressure of third one. So that it will be fourth option. And similarly, just look at this. This is based on time period of simple pendulum. This is one standard formula. Here in this question, they gave like this. Mass increased by 3 times, so that mass of the simple pendulum or mass of the bob will not affect time period. So you need not to bother about this increase in mass, but length made half. So as length became half, t dash by t is proportional to or equal to square root of L dash by L. As they gave like this, it became half of its original length. L by 2 by L under root, L gets cancelled, will get 1 by root 2. So t dash will be equal to t by root 2. But they gave answer in terms of 2. So that's why I'll multiply numerator and denominator with root 2. So that this will be root 2 by 2 into t. So that x value will be root 2. So this is also, if you know this formula, from that you can solve this very easily. And similarly, just look at this. This is based on that compressive force. If you know thermal stress, then that compressive force will be equal to Ya alpha delta theta, because compressive stress is F by A is equal to Y alpha delta theta. A closest example is there in NCERT based on that thermal stress. That delta F formula we are having almost a similar one. But data changed. If you use this Young's modulus and alpha value, cross sectional area, temperature difference, of course length will not affect these values. So you'll get this option to try to solve this, but this is one good example that is already there in NCERT. So now just look at this. This is from electromagnetic induction. So as this north pole is moving away, here we have to observe a south pole. That is possible only when an outward magnetic field is produced. an inward magnetic field or outward magnetic field will be observed from here, and south pole is moving towards here, so that here it has to oppose. Here also we will observe south pole. So for an observer observing from here, and for an observer from observing here, he will observe a current from A to B in this case, this observer, and this observer he will observe from D to C. So that this is correct, and this is there in NCERT. Just look at this section B. So direct question, if you practice this question, they asked this. And this question is also there in NCERT. Just look at this from this formula. The potential at any axial point at 2 meters distance from the center of a dipole moment vector P of magnitude is 9 into 10 cube. This was given. And where R is the distance at any point situated 2 meters, the potential is. This is not for 2 meters. For any distance, this formula is true. So that assertion is right, reason is false. So from this area, we took this. Just look at this. Formula is this. This is false. The statement is false. This is true. So based on this formula, we have to answer this. This is also from NCERT only. And look at this matching they gave directly from this NCERT table for diamagnetic, paramagnetic and ferromagnetic. This chapter is magnetism and matter. So you can just, if you analyze this table directly, you can do that matching. And now look at this. This is based on this, but slightly values all are changed. But magnetic field is given. Vibration magnetometer. Time period will be 2 pi square root of I by mb. They are asking magnetic moment. For 20 complete oscillations, 5 seconds they gave. So for one oscillation, it will be 5 by 20. So that will be 1 by 4th of the second time. So that moment of inertia is also given, and magnetic field is also there. So you can calculate this value. You will get this as 1280 pi square. But here in this question, they asked magnetic field, but formula is same based on this model. If you practice this example, you can solve this question very easily. Now just look at this next question. This is from a transformer concept. So this is our NCERT synapses point. Number of turns in the secondary and how they are related to number of turns in the primary with voltage in the primary and secondary. NP by NS is given as 1 is to 2. Then they are asking what is Vs by Vp. Just look at this. From this, Vs by Vp will be equal to Ns by Np. But Np by Ns is given as 1 is to 2. So that this will be 2 is to 1. One simple question it is from NCERT synapses points. And first find current in the circuit by using this equation. This is also from NCERT liners only. So we are having that voltage as 10 by 5, so that this will be 2 amperes. So V will be equal to E is 10 volts minus 2 into 1, so that this will be 8 volts. That is about that question. And look at this. This is one question from our dual nature and photoelectric effect regarding properties of photon. We are having in NCERT 5 different properties. From those properties only they framed this question, and out of this 4 properties are right. That option is A, B, C, D. Okay, photon does not possess any charge. That is wrong. Remaining all statements are right. This is from this. If you are strong with this NCERT points, you can answer this question very easily. Now look at this. See, they are asking us to match this Lyman series is from this options. This example in NCERT is based on Lyman series, but in exam they gave with Balmer series, because all the initial states they are closing at second level, so that the same formula what we can use, but here we will get 2 square instead of 1 square. If you solve that, you will get this second option. First, this is first member, and this is second member of Balmer series, third member of Balmer series, and fourth member of Balmer series. If you use your common sense, as energy difference increases, wavelength decreases, so you can follow that order. With that, you can answer this question. So this is also one question from moving charges and magnetism, where we are having one direct example in NCERT based on this magnetic field at the center of the coil. B is equal to mu naught Ni by 2R. Here this number of turns is given as 100 and radius is given as 10 centimeters, and it is carrying a current 7 amperes. They are asking magnetic field at the center of the coil. If you solve this with the values, the just values were changed. Here it is also 100 turns, but the only thing is current changed. So due to this change in current, you will get some different value. Remaining all parameters are same. So it is about 4.4 millitesla. If you solve that, you will get that. Just try to solve that. And now look at this. This is an NCERT exercise question. If the two inputs are joined, a NOR gate or NAND gate will behave like a NOT gate. So this will be A bar, this will be B bar. So that this will be A bar plus B bar whole bar, or that will be A bar whole bar into B bar whole bar. So that it will behave like an AND gate. So the same question is there in NCERT also. This is also an AND gate. And if you look at this, this is one direct question from our NCERT. If a monochromatic source in Young's double slit experiment is replaced with white light, just look at this example. Six different options were there. In that, this last option, using monochromatic light, if replaced with white light, what happens means there will be a central bright white light, white fringe surrounded by few colored fringes. So that is also one direct question from NCERT. This is regarding solar cell IV characteristics. So in which quadrant they are means in fourth quadrant. So for a solar cell, IV characteristics lies in the fourth quadrant, that is right. And in reverse bias junction diode, the current is measured due to majority charge carriers. This is wrong. So that this statement is wrong. But this is also one graph directly from NCERT. And look at this. This is based on an unpolarized light beam strikes a glass surface at Brewster angle. Then reflected light will be completely polarized. This is a diagram based question. This diagram is there in NCERT. Completely means we are having either dot or only dot components here. But refracted light is partially polarized. Of course, the angle between them will be 90 degrees. That was not asked, but this option is this fourth option. And look at this. This is one simple question based on this NCERT statement. Potential inside as well as on the surface is same, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught r. And here itself there is one statement, no work is done in moving a charge inside the shell because potential is constant. So that here what is work means q into delta v, as work done is 0, definitely delta v will be 0, so potential difference is 0. So you can answer that. Now look at this. This question is from alternating currents. They are asking us to find peak value of current. A similar example is there in NCERT. First, they gave frequency value. Once we are having that frequency value and capacity, you can find that capacitive reactance. Once we know capacitive reactance, this is given as VRMS. As this is VRMS, we can calculate IRMS. IRMS will be VRMS by XC. If you know that, then I naught is equal to root 2 into IRMS. If you solve this, you will get 0.93. But for those students, it will be very helpful who practice this NCERT example. Direct question based on that NCERT model was given. Now just look at this. This is NCERT question, and the corresponding question asked in NEET. That telescope magnification formula is given as F naught by Fe. So F naught is given as 140 by Fe is given as 5. So that if you divide that, then you will get this 28. The same question is there, a telescope 144 and 6, so that if you will divide, you will get that magnifying power. Of course, here also they asked that magnifying power. They asked separation between objective and eyepiece. For that, we have to do L is equal to F naught plus Fe. So that is how, if you practice all the questions and all base examples what they are given in NCERT, definitely nearly 25 questions were there out of 50 which were given in NCERT. 25 questions are directly NCERT models or NCERT formula based questions. So for those people who are preparing for 2025 NEET, I hope this video will be very helpful. How to utilize NCERT is very important. Have a great time. Thank you.